I mean, we can get.
I mean, get it in rather.
But I don't know. Speed Shak Garage, this is Mike and Daniel, and we're going to start building this front end, putting it back together in one form or another.
Yeah.
Because so far it's been found difficult. But we got the press, and we're going to start with the initial, your Kingpin. We're going to get the bushings and stuff pressed in there, and then hopefully get our new drop spindles put into there with the Kingpin, and then the link pins.
Yeah.
So we're going to get started. We're going to start showing you. We got all our stuff cleaned up and all our new bushings. So let's get going and show you all that stuff. Cool. So you have this knuckle part here, and we pressed out the old bushings that will go inside here for our link pin that slides down in. So if you had that, that'll go there, and that is what holds on your spindle. And so all the bushings are pressed out of it, and the first step is to put these ones in. Then you're going to move on to the ones for the kingpins, which then slide through the side, and those will be more or less at the end because you want to get this pressed in first. And it's pretty cool. We pulled out the old ones, and I don't know if someone replaced them with OEM or their original, but they still have the Volkswagen on them. So this is definitely hasn't been touched for who knows how long. But the old ones came out fairly easy, and then the new ones, they're going in okay. But don't forget you have a thrust washer as well, and we're going to show you that later. It comes with the whole kit that we got with the Kingpin link pin kit. So we're going to start, we're going to lubricate these up and get these pushed in. And I was using, I think this is a 5/8 socket, and it is the right diameter, fits around there nicely to press these in without damaging anything, and I was just using an extension like that to get it all the way through. So I'm going to go over to the press with this, get these in, and hopefully it doesn't
mar or scar.
Yeah, because it hasn't been the easiest. But we had looked in the manual, and there are old Volkswagen tools to use for this job, like some press arbor parts and stuff. So I would say these are going to go in easy, but what it was is there's a piece of stock that would go inside here to help support this whole thing. But so far, I don't think anything is bent. So
hopefully.
Yeah. But
it's going in. It doesn't look like it's binding up or anything.
no, not too bad. And then we're going to just get it so it goes just into there. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
So that way the other bushing can slide in. You're not going to damage it. And it looks like it did shave a little bit. That was sharp. Yeah, it looks like you're going to have to go down a little bit more. You can see on this side it's still up. So we're going to have to keep pushing it in. That's no big deal though. Now, on this side actually, you'll see these notches. You will have to file those out. So we're going to file those out after we get the other one in. And that's for the little washer that keeps the thrust washer there. So that's just, if you don't know why you don't have notches, it's because you're going to have to file it out. That's not a big deal. So now we got it pressed in there, seated all the way down, and it's not higher than where that bushing will go, because then you just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So our next step, try and press in our link pin, Kingpin. I looked in the manual because the other side I had started and I'd put in the bushing into here, but the manual showed not doing that. And I think I'm going to leave it out for this side. But we got those in. Let me show you what I mean. If this makes sense. So we got this one somewhat built up to learn what we're doing and everything. And currently this bushing is pressed into here. So the only way to get the link pin in is through this side. And I just am worried of damaging it or something, so we're going to be really careful putting it in. So I think what we'll do is we're going to get the pin that is in the freezer currently out, and we're going to pop it through here with this, our lowering spindle, and get it all assembled like that, and then come in and push in these bushings at the end. So we're going to try just the pin frozen. And like I said, it's been sitting overnight, and we're going to put this all together, back together because it fell back apart. Put this back together and try to get that pin through all of this with it all lined up and everything perfectly in place. Basically what I found out is just switch over to a ball joint front end. I get it now. Okay, so we grabbed the pin out of the freezer. It's right here. I'm using a socket on the inside that's bigger than our other bushing back there so we don't push that bushing out. And now we're going to set this whole thing up and hope for the best. This is interesting.
It's scary.
Straight, is it?
Yeah, it's definitely... Oh, it's going now.
All right, I don't know. It started going down.
Yeah. I mean, it's like... Looks like more than halfway, I would say, right? Or close to it.
No, it's all fucked. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just... like, it just took out the entire bushing.
Oh, did it?
Look at... All right, Monday morning. Did some research over the weekend on Kingpins. Found out that reamer tool is essential. I read through 3 service manuals, which I should have done in the beginning before I destroyed a bushing. So now I'm short a bushing. But found out that you need to install the Kingpin bushings, then you need to ream it for it all to slip together and fit. So I am currently this morning on my way to a local Volkswagen repair shop that they specialize in Volkswagens, but they do air-cooled and water-cooled. And I'm assuming they should have the reaming tool to ream those bushings and get the Kingpin installed. So I'm heading there right now with all the parts. This is the first big hurdle with this whole build that we ran into. And truthfully, I don't want to spend a lot of money on one reaming tool to never probably use it again. So I'm here for an aid. I dropped them off. They can do it. And I just want to point out that they have a Super Beetle that's also a Baja. So I'm not the only crazy one that builds a Super Beetle into Baja. But she took them. They said they could do it. I mean, it's Volkswagen shop. That's probably one of their specialties, being that you need special tools. So I left them with her. So she's going to call me with the quote. And hopefully it all goes well. Because then I can press on with more on this bug, because that had stumped me for this whole morning that I didn't know what I was going to do. So I'm glad we got something. So wow, just rambling on because who knows, but we're good. All right, so we have dropped off those Kingpins to get built by Foreign Aid. So hopefully we get those back soon. She said today. Hopefully I'm taking a trip down there to pick them up. But in the meantime, the rest of the parts, then I realized I'm missing some parts still. Came in from J-Bugs. I ordered from them. So now we have a full set of new wheel bearings. Doop, doop. Don't tell me that this is a... Oh, okay. Thought I had 3 front bearings. No. Full set of wheel bearings, front and rear, in and out, inside and out, whatever. New seals to go on those plates. 1 new dust cap. I think there's another one somewhere. I ordered in the easier clamp style for the sway bar. I think these are like a 3/8 size. This little itty bitty guy. That seems about right. Yep. So those fit on there nicely. So we have new sway bar bushings came in, the bump stops that we needed, and what else? Those gaskets. So this is like the first thing that's gonna go on. These are the ones that will go on the arms and seal off the grease seals. So this is the one thing I really needed. But today, while we're waiting on those Kingpins, we're gonna be blasting away some rust. Lots of it, grime, dirt. This is a mess, but like our sway bar, gonna go in here and clean some of this stuff up, get our new bushings for it. Then we're gonna jump over to gloves. Jump over to that front end, get that somewhat cleaned out, get that steering box off because I kept forgetting to take it off, and we need a gasket for that, which I forgot. So when we stop at 4 and 8 to pick up our Kingpin, I'm gonna see if they have one because it's like a $5 gasket, no big deal. Let's see. Now I'm gonna spend a lot of time just getting the sanding down. I'm gonna plug my holes here. I'll just use these to help keep some of that stuff out. Okay, so that's about tore down. That is as tore down as it can get. Now it's just the process of lots of cleaning. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up. You don't need to watch all of that because that's probably not fun. Woo. Look at that. This is turning out so far pretty good. I haven't seen anything too crazy, and I mean, it looks like it's all original and it's all there, that's for sure. So just knocked off some of that surface rust. I'm not going crazy with it because it's not that bad a shape. So we have it sitting out here on our outside workbench. Basically, that's paint prep done. So I'm gonna clean it off some more, start spraying it, because then we got the arms to clean off next. We're just gonna go with, because I have plenty of it, Eastwood chassis paint, satin coating. Just did the first coat on that front end. So that's gonna be drying. And while it dries, it should dry pretty quickly. It's a nice, warm, perfect day out for spray painting. We have more cleanup to do. Hopefully it won't take as long, but you never know. Each one of these control arm, we're gonna get all these 4 of them cleaned up, and we'll be back. What's going on? It's been some trial and turmoil on putting this front end together, if that's how you say it.
Yeah.
But we got this cleaned up. I spent a lot of time with the wire wheel and painted it. So the front end is clean and painted. We've got some torsion bar things re-greased and looked at them, made sure there's nothing wrong with them. Those are ready to go in. And then we're gonna get the arms on and kind of start getting this front end put together. So what we're gonna start doing is putting in the torsion tube, bars, things, some extra grease ready to go in, and these just slide in, then we'll get the grub screws in and start from there. So basically just keeping these all together, and I had them wire tied, but we're gonna be able to pull that off and slide those in and start going. So it's just now finding and also making sure the indents are facing the right way, because if not, we'll be in trouble. Let me just try.
What do you mean by indents?
These little, this is for the grub screws sits in.
Yeah.
So you want those facing the same way. See this hole up
The
there?
hole there.
Yeah. So we gotta have it up there. Oh, there's one. Did it pop out the other side?
Yes.
Okay. First one. And then we're just coating them with some grease to help
Heavily coating them.
Getting it pushed inside in between them. I spent some time just cleaning them off.
Oh, there it goes.
All right.
They're staying together too, most importantly.
Yes, you want to keep them all together. All right.
There it is.
So we are pulling off at least this side of the thing. There you go. So those are in. They're very messy and
Yeah.
so much fun to do. But next, is to take these off.
Do you mind get?
Did you want to pull?
Wait,
Oh wait, this was like a
easier.
medium. This one was a large. Nice. All right. Oh yeah, look at all that extra grease. And then we'll go through. There's grease certs. We're gonna re-grease it, but right now we're just putting all this stuff together. I've been looking through. This is how to modify your Beetle. We also have the entire workshop manual. This one just has better pictures.
Yeah.
And
I like pictures.
Really, it's just to make sure, like, I'd put the right arm on the right side, even though it's a ball joint one. But I don't want to put, this one on the top where the shot goes. It goes on the bottom. So, but I don't think these are left or right. Maybe they are. Let's see here. That was one thing I did not look at when pulling them apart. No, they're identical. So.
Yeah.
There's no. I was just thinking if
it's up or top or bottom, but not side to side in theory.
Bottom, but not side to side.
Yeah.
And then this is what we're waiting on. These little grease thingies. They just sit over.
A little boot.
Yeah. Nothing special about those besides there's like a beveled.
Yeah, there's a little bevel on it.
Because there's a bevel in there.
Yeah.
So these I've wrapped to protect them, and now. The paint's not dry still, so that's awesome.
Is it?
It's a little tacky. And now...
It's like us.
Yes, just tacky enough.
Just tacky enough.
So, we'll slide that over it. Yeah, because that seems like that fits it nicely. And then these will, with those holes, go to there.
Yeah, is there a way you clock them?
Well, the grub screw hole right there needs to go right there.
Oh, of course.
I also thought the same thing of like, oh man, which way do you know to put them? But now I realize you just need to make sure
the grub
screws all line up. And I just realized I probably just pushed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This way.
I should probably hold that side, maybe.
Yeah. So if you want to,
Here, I got it.
oh, just hold that there.
Should I let any through?
Nope.
Holding. He's pushing it.
Hey, there it goes. Okay, so that one's in.
Ooh, except for their little.
That's fine. We're gonna tap it all.
Oh, as long as that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I can grab
So just so you see it, they're not flat across. It kind of dips a little bit, but shouldn't be an issue.
So then we have the grub screw. We're gonna thread it in there, and hopefully they all line up enough, like that. So that one's kind of locked in, and I'm just leaving everything semi-loose.
Yeah.
And the issue is right now in the vise, we can't get the middle grub screw in, but we'll get that next after we get these in the tops. So now we'll grab another one. Do the same thing. If you want to push that.
Just tapping that in.
Okay. Now we grab. Oh, I got it all first now.
Hopefully this will.
Still pretty well lined up. I'll just. Oh, we need the. Can you hand me one of the rubber grommets?
Yes.
Thank you. Now this one. So you're probably gonna want to hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's in.
Yeah, because it didn't push out actually at all.
No, I think we gotta bring it towards me just a little more. Because it's probably a pretty snug fit.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Especially with new bushings and all that stuff. Or seals, rather. Just getting that grub in there.
Yeah, that one's now in there. It went down a lot further than before.
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll do the top and
Top arms.
So greasy.
Yeah, this is not a this is not a job you do and then go have dinner right after.
True. It's gross. Alright. Second one. And I think it is easier to put these in without the bump stop in.
Yeah.
Just because
You're not having to
gets right in the way.
Yeah.
But what I want to do actually is put this middle one in on this one.
because we're gonna have to
the middle.
twist this. Yeah, this one's a little more difficult with the bump stop and stuff being right there. And so it looks like that's it right there. So what I'm going to do is put this in there so we can really twist and turn on it, because
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a little more difficult.
And that sunk right in. Yeah.
Because we got to put the rubber gasket on first.
Oh no.
Ugh, the whole thing I waited to do this whole job for. There. Okay, one more try. But yeah, so I get it kind of started right there. I can feel the square connecting, and then it's just kind of twisting and like that. And that's why it's kind of pointless to paint everything right away, because we probably just scratched it, but we'll touch up stuff later.
Touch up paint.
And then, yeah, it feels like it's just right there. Perfect. Put our next one in.
Let me grab one of these so we don't forget on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
When you had it there and I was like, oh, he's going to put it on the arm, I'll take it off. But it's probably a good way to remember. Look at that tape job.
This one's stuck on there pretty good.
It's a grub screw when you need it.
Oh, yeah, I got one right there.
You gotta.
You're good. Yeah. I thought that's not as bad as doing the Kingpins, that's for sure.
Yes. I mean, the Kingpins really, though, were the only thing that so far I feel like has fought us to that point where you're just like, you know, it's just not fun anymore. Like,
that's true.
And you're ruining stuff, you know? You just straight up ruin it.
Yeah, big time. But
So
we learned.
yeah.
And now you don't do it.
Yeah, don't make our mistakes unless you've done this before, in which case you probably wouldn't be watching this video to figure out how to do it. Or you're just watching the video to tell us what we're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to see what we did wrong, that's for sure.
You ruined it.
Okay, that's in there. We're going to take down the jam nut. We'll just do these top ones, and then we're going to flip it over and do that last grub screw. Just get these nice and tight. These front ends are heavy once you get to this point.
Yeah.
I've been moving this around with no big deal, and then I went to flip it and
About dropped it.
Yeah. Jeez. That's heavy. All right, that last one was lined up, so we're going to tighten it down, and then we'll get those outer ones, and then we're going to try to sort out how to get those bump stops on. I think we're going to have to use some like leverage.
So we got this big ass leverage bar
Yes.
that we put over the arm because it does take quite a bit.
And I'm just going to get a little old grease in here real quick, I
Yeah.
realize. And then Daniel's going to lift, and I'm going to stick this on, and hopefully it doesn't smash my fingers.
Yeah.
And then it's going to push up against the workbench. I think that's on.
Is it hitting it at all? Do you need to lift more?
No. Yours perfect. It's just.
I am perfect.
I think that's as far as it goes on. Okay, drop it.
Yeah. So leverage is good. That someone was holding it, just so you know. It's enough to hold a car front end up.
Yeah. So you
Just
definitely
get
have
a
some
buddy.
extra leverage.
have the guy holding your camera put it on a tripod for that.
Yeah. Cool. That's a front end now put together. Still no phone call for the link pins, Kingpins. It said one or two. It's one, so we'll see. But what we gotta do is we're gonna get the grease gun. I got a new one coming, so we can really fill it up. But we're gonna go in all the grease zerks and just pump them full of grease inside. That's necessary to keep these lubricated. But while we're waiting, we're gonna pull out the drum brakes and we're gonna smack in some bearings.
Yeah.
Because once those Kingpins are in here, we get the link pins, we get that all together, and we're gonna do a separate video for doing brakes. Yeah, they are one, I just realized. So I've got a little bearing smacker tool. Well, that doesn't fit, does it? Okay.
Is it the other one?
No, these should be the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are significantly, but like, you know, they don't fit there. So this is why these aren't being used. That's why you didn't use them, because they're not the right ones. All right, so one other issue we have, what we thought were the right new drums that we've gotten from somebody, but these are significantly smaller than there. You could see, didn't really think about it. These are probably for some other Volkswagen that we don't have, and the bearings obviously don't fit. So these get to get put back in a box. We get to reuse our old ones because truthfully, there was nothing wrong with these to begin with. The drum is a great surface in there. Nothing, there's no gouges or anything.
Yeah, it looks pretty smooth, just a little crusty.
Yeah, so we're gonna clean it up with a wire wheel, but we're gonna first get out the old bearings and then get ready to put new ones in after we get it all cleaned. And we have to get out the old seal here. Got, oh, there it is. The old seal, some old bearings. This is the big difference. These are roller ball bearings. The other ones are roller bearings. Oh, that's cool.
All over the pants and the shirt. Ugh.
Cool.
You hate to see it.
Yep. So yeah, these are super old bearings. That's why we're gonna get rid of them, and then also
upgrade them.
Upgrade them. There we go.
Different type. Are they roller taper?
Yeah,
bearings?
this is like a roll. This is like a ball bearing.
Yeah.
Ball bearing, and the new ones I believe they're roller, which is cylinders. So
yeah,
I read that these are obsolete now, right?
Yeah.
Like you want the newer kind because they're better.
Yeah, they're more.
There's a good picture. Those are the roller bearings, and we're gonna put in right there. And we're taking out ball bearings. Roller bearings like that with the cylinders take a load better, where a ball bearing doesn't on the side to side and everything. Yeah. So it depends on the style of load the bearings holding with what you want to use it for. I only know that because of jet engines. All right, now we just need to smack out that old race. There it is. Okay, I just want to get good. You gotta find just the lip of it. And if it's not making like that, it's definitely not hitting it, but it's almost out. Cool. There's the one out. And then you flip it over, get this other one out.
Ugh.
There we go. Now this is difficult. There's like barely a lip in there. There's usually, some cars have like a notch. But yeah, there is like not much to hit. So we're gonna have to be pretty precise not to damage anything, which normally doesn't go well. Okay, both of them are out. But yeah, this one had barely a lip on it. So that was a pain.
You gotta be mindful of it.
Yeah. But again, I don't know if this one was the one that was in backwards or not. Yeah, I think this was. So we showed, if you haven't seen our other video of tearing this down, I came and was surprised, but not surprised to see that someone had put that front bearing in backwards, this one. And I believe it is this one. You could see there's a groove that runs along there where it was in backwards. So that's no good anymore.
Yeah.
That's not just where that was a backwards bearing shoved in there, spinning backwards. And luckily, we only drove it a little bit.
Yeah.
And not too far.
Yeah.
Because
well, and you were hanging off the back, so that would have made less load up front.
No, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
We just scienced it.
We just scienced it. That's all.
So, yeah, we'll spend some time just cleaning up the insides here, get a wire wheel, and then we're going to come back and press it in because you don't want to see me just
scrubbing
and getting gross. So we took it on the wire wheel, and not worried about the outside. The inside came out nice and clean. Didn't see any immediate damage in the drum. You know, no like big grooves or anything. So I think it's going to work out perfect. And there's nothing damaging inside. Make sure you clean it out really good because, you know, you don't want
anything in
there like wire wheels, pieces and stuff like that.
Dirt.
So next, we're going to start smacking some bearings in. These, like I said, have been in the freezer, and thankfully these have been sitting outside in the heat. So
I was going to say, they're actually pretty hot, plus you were grinding on it.
Yes.
Jim heats it up a little bit too.
So when doing these, obviously make sure you're putting it in, so the beveled side, this is the inside, that's the outside. So that's the vice versa there. So this is going to go like that. And I bet this thing's going to like drop in, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Something like that. And then you can get these things at like Harbor Freight for pretty cheap. And they're designed to fit perfectly in the bearing.
You never used one of these.
Yeah, this thing's like $20 or less. It saves you a lot of headache, and you can just see it's beveled to fit into the bearing itself. And then you just smack it in. So instead of trying to find the socket or something,
or trying to do it with the screwdriver not scar it or whatever.
Yeah, you'd be in big trouble. So that one's in, super simple. Same with this side. So this one's going to be like that, because that's going to sit in there. So this is going to go in here. And we'll do the same. We'll put our other. And these are aluminum, so you're not going to damage your bearing surface.
Yeah, softer metal than the actual
metal,
or your race.
So you'll be safe to. But it just pushes it nicely down evenly. And yeah, they're aluminum, so you can just smack away and not damage anything. I like this little set, that's for sure. You use it a lot.
Yeah, that's clever. I've never even.
And
pretty sick, actually.
That's it. And you can flip them around and use them as a puller.
Of course.
Slide hammer. So that'll go in there. This one will go in there.
The correct way. And we have some new bearings in our old drum, which is going to work out just fine. So we're going to knock out the other side, because this is just waiting, again, for our Kingpins. So when those come in, we'll get those built. But we're just smacking in some bearings to get these ready for brakes. There we go. That's it. Easy peasy.
Grease. Lots of grease.
Lots and lots of grease.
Well, the time has came to finally put together these front lowering spindles in a drop. Nice. Good news. The local Volkswagen shop, they were able to get these together. They even had a hard time. They said, due to these MP lowering spindles just being too small inside, they really said they had a hard time doing it. And I mean, this stuff's pretty hard to turn it, so it's pretty snug. I mean, you could still get it turned. There we go. But yeah, these things are snugged in there and good to go. So all I'm going to be doing now is dropping in our link pin bushings. And best thing I've read on these, if you're doing the link pins, because this is something you can do, you don't need a special tool, is there's a little grease hole right there. And you want to line that up with the hole for your grease cert. So I pulled out the grease certs. I actually tapped these because they were pretty nasty, and I got new grease certs. So we should be golden when it comes to getting new ones in and lining these holes up. So if you're doing this, pull those out so you can get these lined up. And I found you go a little lower than you're thinking for where that hole is. It's there, but you want to bring this way down here and line that up. So I'm just putting a little grease on them. Nothing crazy, just a squirt, rolling it around. And these go in a lot better. They're cold, so they're a little shrunk, where this is a little warmer. And so it hasn't been that difficult with just a small socket and my ball peen hammer. Tapping them. I'm going to grab my rubber mallet just to be more easy on those bushings. It's just so big. But double check where your hole is. Make sure it's staying somewhat aligned. It actually isn't, so I'm going to pop it back out just a little bit and do it one more time. Come on now.
Don't make me look dumb in front of my friends. Okay, so this is not how I was expecting it. There we go. Gosh, now I gotta wipe off all that dirt. So yeah, I'm trying to get this as lined up as possible because when greasing these, it'll help in the future because that's basically a grease passage to go in there and do all your link pins because you want to make sure you're always lubricated. So we're going to try it one more time. Overshot the hole just a little bit too low actually. I was doing it too high earlier, practicing on the first one. Now I'm doing it too low. So I kind of just get it lined up just a hair in there, and then we'll just hit it in. Basically, this hole, I'll show you, and the one I did get right, I'm gonna just mess with this some more and you don't want to see all this, is perfectly done right in there. There's a hole. Well, you can't even tell, but the hole in there lines up nicely, so it is possible, but it's a pain in the butt, obviously, as you could tell. So I'm going to keep working at these and get these in, and then we're going to be getting finally this front end somewhat put together and looking like a Volkswagen front end. Okay, the time has come to put them on our somewhat finished front end, and hopefully everything fits. I don't know. This front end has been a bit of a struggle, that's for sure. So we'll hope for the best. Expect the worst. There we go. I think that'll do us something, let's hope. Thanks. Luckily one of them, I noticed he stamped an L, for left. So that's cool. And pretty sure it goes on the right side. Cool. I believe it's 8 shims. Right. 8 shims in this book it says. I am exhausted from this job, as you could tell. And I can't wait to be done with it. So yes, this goes there. So it could turn and have space. I read in the manual, 8 shims. It comes with, this kit had all of them in there. We also thought it would work with the other thing, and it didn't. But now I just gotta kind of turn this. We're gonna get our stuff turned so we can slide our pins in. Like these here. So those will go into there with our shims. Okay, so this is a super just might work thing. Reading the manual, you're measuring with should have the proper straight edge that goes into this hole, and then it'll sit out towards there. And I can't find my true bar. Go figure, everything's a mess. But when measured, I actually get the measurement that's in the book, because they're looking at 8.5. I think I got just a hair over 8, just about 8. And according to the book, you have 8. It's 4 and 4 on the upper, and on the lower 2 and 6, always equaling 8. And honestly, I think that's a good start. Once I get more together, I might come back and adjust those a little bit more. But I think we're gonna go with that. It seems like a good middle ground. Okay, we're going with 7.5. After some measurements and kind of fiddling with it, 7.5 seems about right. So upper part of the torsion tube here is going to get 4 and 4, and the lower is going to get 3 and 5. Make it easy on me. Just round it up, or have it. Okay. And we could also adjust this later. I think with it being like the lowering arms, I don't know if that'll affect anything, but we're gonna put what it says. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna slide it through there, put it on there. So they're saying whatever where this is, that's your outer shim side. The inner shim side is your, obviously, inner part, but just so you have a good idea of what that's saying. Maybe this might need a little more grease. Yeah, let's get some more grease on this one. It is not happy. Grease everything. And then once we got all this stuff together, we're gonna be putting a lot more grease in there. All right, now we could, ooh, that one's super loose. We'll put in our top ones. This one's gonna be another 4. And that bottom is gonna be 3. These things are sharp. Now we can just kind of turn it and it's gonna slide in there. We're gonna have to, ooh. Pretty sure this is gonna be a better thing with 2 people, but I'll work with what I got, I guess. I bet $1 million that there's an easy way to do this, but I don't know it. Probably getting the shock installed would help pull it all together, but I don't have them nor find them, so I'm gonna get a ratchet strap and just pull these together, and that should work. Okay, now we got something going on. Put a bolt in our shock mount. Now we could just hopefully line these all up. And then, woo! Did it. There we go. First one is in. Now what I gotta do is, gotta remember where I put the bolt. Just gotta make sure they're all the way seated so those cams on these are showing, so when we put the bolt in, it holds it. So I'm gonna go get the bolts for those. But that's our first one on, finally, after truthfully 2 weeks of struggling with this stupid project. We're looking like more of a front end slowly. Okay, we got this side in, and of course they give you extra shims, and then I found one and thought I didn't have enough in here, but we have all the shims we need. That's not fun. Ugh. And now it's just, like I said, lining those up, which I actually got them pretty dang close. So that's cool. As you can see, all I did is just, again, there's the bolt that we stuck in there. And we got our bolts for this one. And if it doesn't quite fit, it's like a 14 and you just want to turn it. I was just turning it till it kind of just dropped in. Oh, we're way off. There we go. Like right there. Boom. And then we can do this. And if I recall, there's probably like a preload, because this is going to adjust your camber and caster slightly. See, it slightly moves. So we'll just, for the heck of it, bring them both in right there. Same with the other side, and then we'll snug these down to hold everything together while we finish the rest of this. So yeah, I'm gonna just tighten these down. I did the whole the way of putting the bolts downward so if the nut falls out, you know, you can still hold your suspension semi together. Yeah, so I think that's gonna mostly wrap up
putting your link pins and kingpins together, and hopefully it made some sense to some people. And if not, feel free, go in the comments, ask some questions. This job is not doable on your own unless you have a press and the right reaming tool and patience.
Okay, next is getting on our semi-freshly painted sway bar. All right, so I went ahead, ordered the new bushings, and truthfully figured it was just easier to order the ones with the bands. I liked how the old ones went on, or how the old sway bars connected. Thought that was kind of a cool, simplistic way, but we're gonna go with even easier, just for sake of time and quality. I'm hoping these will last a good amount of time, but we will see. So we're gonna get a little bit of lithium grease in here and slide our bushings on. And I noticed, looking at it, there are two different sizes. Boom. You got a big and a small. Same with the band. And I don't remember. I think the big one goes, the big one goes closest, and the little one goes further away. So I'm going to grab that lithium grease. And I think it's as simple as just sliding all this stuff on around and then clamping it. So we're going to have to take that nut all the way off and that band to get it around the arm. But shouldn't be that difficult. I've got some Prothane super grease, just a lithium. No, what is this stuff? It's super sticky, whatever it is. But you want to definitely, on these nylon urethane bushings, you really want to lubricate them, or else you get all your little squeaks and stuff like that. And the only thing I can tell is you're just going to undo these clamps like that. We're going to put them around here. Probably double check the position of this. So let's just figure this out. I actually noticed that I do believe the big one will go on the top because it will space it out a little further away, and that makes sense. There, let's just flip it around because I don't want to try to shove these on while it's already put halfway together. All right, doing a little online research real quick, and it does right on the little one on the bottom, big one on the top, and that's really it. Some of them showed a little bit different, but I think that was just the year's variance. So this is obviously a 61 front end, so it might be different than yours. All right, so yeah, I like the placement of those a lot. And then, do believe these are just 10 mil, I hope. So we'll get the 10 millimeter and tighten those down. Yeah, sway bars on. Next is we're going to start working on our hubs. We got the drums all cleaned up, new bearings, ready to go. We're going to grease them, stick on our backing plates. They're just finishing drying, and hopefully start assembling all the brake components. And while they're still drying, I'm going to go ahead and grease up these Kingpins because I didn't get to chance to earlier. But when I come back, we're going to have this flipped around, and we're going to start putting these hubs back together. Okay, there's my plate painted up. I missed a couple spots. I'm going to have to come back here and hit with it, but it's, for the most part, cleaned up and covered. We're going to get our little 3 bolts started, and these empty lowering spindles are a little bit of a pain to get on. All right, we're going to run those down, and it's going to pull that in. Pulled up our manual for brakes, and showing, like the cylinder is going to be back there, your adjuster's up front, And we've got all new brake hardware and brake cylinders. All we need to reuse on this is going to be these adjusters. Put a little grease in here. Those sit right in there. And this is going to be fun because that's just going to keep falling. So we'll get a little grease in there to hold all this. So, breaker open. I mean, these things look identical to the ones we pulled off. I'm just going to drop them. And since these are new brakes, we're going to turn these adjusters pretty much all the way in. Then we'll be able to adjust them back out. Let's start with our little guide pins. One in there. One in there. Oh yeah, we can't forget. We're going to have to put in our cylinder. So when we put the pads on, they have something to stick to. So let's backtrack a little. But yeah, you can see they are pretty much identical. This one actually seems a little more beefier than the stock one. And I think we can access this once it's in. So I'm not going to pull out the plug for the brake line, not quite yet. And then we're going to just run our bolt on there. And we're back. These are the ones that were pulled out. And they are not even, honestly, I think they have a almost thicker pad than what these ones have. But, okay, they do. So there's this little notch. And I always know that notch is for sometimes like an e-brake and stuff. So that's why I thought these were in the rear, but it's not. And I'm seeing there's a little mark right here where the old brake pad holder went. So I'm assuming this is the direction, or at least this one. So it's either this way or this way. And they are pretty much symmetrical all around. So let's just guess first. Make a logical guess here. That can go there. And then this one, use this little, go there. That's yeah, no, I think we got it. I only say that because this hole here and here, not there. It's somewhat close. And then this hole and this hole are pretty far away to where they're going to pull on it just the right amount. And as long as it's snug, I think we'll be fine. We just got to get these little springs, retaining pad holders in. And drum brakes are not as bad as some people say they are. Basically, just make sure you take pictures before you pull it apart. Who didn't take pictures? This guy. Goes in like that. Yeah, I mean, it's showing how it's pretty close, at least in this picture. Finally. And that seems a little too tight, but also maybe not. No, yeah, I like it. I think that's going to be it. Let's move on and get the thingy on. I'll just do a little greasy on there. Doesn't hurt. But we got to get that grease wheel bearing seal, whatever you want to call it, popped onto there. Put a little grease around the edges here, so hopefully it slides on just fine. And honestly, since these are reusing these, there's really no issue getting that on. Nice and pressed. That's going to keep all that grease sealed, hopefully. Now we can slide this on ever so gently.
But the thing is we're going to have to pull this on and off probably 20 times because we've got to adjust our brakes. And right now they're not even remotely close. Well, I think that's also what I believe the little hole's for. But we want to get it a lot closer. Yeah. But I think that's what that adjustment hole's for. But I don't want to do that when we've got to do a lot of turns. That's nice. So, ooh, yeah, right there. They're still touching slightly, but that's good. So they're not completely just loose. Now we're going to come over here, grab our nasty bearing that I failed at packing. We got it right the second time. We're just going to slide her in. And it doesn't fit. No, I'm just kidding. It fit. Sweet. So all that's left is I have that little washer. I got a brand new one sitting somewhere, one of them at least. So we'll put that on. I don't know if I have a second one, so I'm going to have to search for it. Nope, it's right there. It's right there. And this had like double nutted, and it honestly wasn't that secure. So got these, the empty like locking ones, L-pin clamp. So, oh, that says right, doesn't it? Oh yeah, they are reverse threaded, aren't they? I just want to see. Maybe I just grabbed literally the right one. Yeah, that's right. They are reverse threaded. So that goes over there. So, woo, so. We are going to twist this on. I like this one because it also locks. You can tighten it with that little Allen wrench. Kind of want to get the car on the ground on this and just kind of broken. Like the bearings are going to probably set a little bit more. And so we're going to just do a little tight. Back it up just a little. I mean, that's pretty smooth. So I'm going to lock it down for now. Yep, that's just a little back. And, you know, these are going to need to be checked a couple times after the car's actually driving because, you know, bearings are going to start getting more set and pushed in and everything. Then, look at this. We even have, I don't even know if I've ever actually bought a new one of these before. Whoa, that's actually extra shiny. Yeah, super chrome. Bejeebus, we did it. We have front end halfway put together. We got to get the other side done, but I'm super stoked. Look at this. There is rolling. There's brakes. There's new kingpins. There's new sway bars. New little grease covers. Everything is cleaned and painted. Looks, to me, I love it. I'm feeling better. I didn't paint any of this. I kind of enjoy the slightly not just over painted everything's black. Because then it just looks like you painted over everything. You like built it and just spray painted it all. So that concludes the front end build. I hope I got some information to you, some struggles of building these, even though Volkswagens are so easy. These Kingpins pose somewhat of a challenge, that's for sure. I know there's going to be lots more I'm going to have to adjust when we get this car on the ground to include, you know, camber, caster, all those things. But we do now have 2-inch drop spindles, new brakes, new Kingpins, new sway bar bushings. Everything has been hit with the wire wheel, surface rust gone, hit with some undercoating, enamel paint, and even a nice chrome cap. So thanks for watching. This is a lot longer of a video because this is a long job. You know, doing those Kingpins
was a struggle, and then trying to find someone to do them when I gave up was a little hard too. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with this build. This front end is almost there to get put on the chassis. The pan is going to get finished, painted, and cleaned. And then we're going to be on to the rear end, and hopefully coming up quick, we're going to have a rolling skateboard Volkswagen again. I'm pretty excited. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm tired, but I still like Volkswagen. So get out there and fix it. Do something, because it's fun. So it's cool to be here.